2, 1. Hey YouTube, we are live and Facebook. Welcome back to Coffee Talk with Jim and Ash.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Ash. And bump, here we go. We have our pajamas on. So what does that mean? We did not go to church today. We went to virtual church. And who did we listen to today?
Gino Jennings.
Pastor, Apostle,
no,
Gino. Pastor Gino Jennings. And so if you all don't know about him, he's this pastor on YouTube. He has churches all over the world.
People can't see me on your stuff.
Well, you need to get in.
No, just
scoot back. Let me scoot it back. No, I need to scoot it back some. Let's scoot it back a little bit. There we go. Now you can be seen. Can I be seen on yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be seen on mine. See, I was already set up correctly.
Anyway. Happy Sunday. It is February 16th. It was Valentine's weekend.
Oh, let's talk about Valentine's Day. What was your first? Ladies first. Go ahead.
What is there to talk about? You don't celebrate Valentine's, so
yeah, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but you still are treated like it was Valentine's Day.
He did buy me a new coffee pot, guys, and so I'm drinking some coffee with no grinds in it because my other one, every time I made some coffee, well, like 50% of the time, it would flip over and I had grinds in my coffee. So thank you, hubby, for buying me a new coffee pot on Valentine's date. Date.
So it was Valentine's Day. But,
he made it clear to tell me that it's not a Valentine's gift. Okay. He made it very clear. Even though he gave it to me on February 14th, he made it clear that it's not for Valentine's.
And true. Some other things that hhappened. Last week, we were not on Coffee Talk with Jim and Ash. The main reason I want to give my grandmother, it was her birthday. She turned 85 years old, so round of applause for that.
That's Holloway, a blessing.
Jane Holloway, if you watch this, again, a week later from
Happy
your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Went to Alabama. We had a good time. I was able to tell a story about grandma, about her and how we used to go run her errands, going to Mobile, Alabama. And it was a really good time. It was really done nicely. My mother, my aunties and uncles, they always put on a really good, anytime my family comes together and for birthdays or family reunions, they do a very good job at putting it together. So I, applause to them too. My mom, my Teresa, Nikki, my uncles, everybody that helped. And I applause to my son as well. He didn't know he was going to be working, but he was the DJ / tech guy at the party too. And he just took that on. He did such a great job with that. So I want to give him props. He's sick right now. You hear him in the background, but he has a flu right now, and but he's getting better though.
Because Nurse Mommy took care of my baby, and we're getting better slowly by slowly. Right now, he's just really lethargic, but he's getting his energy back. Gonna go outside and get some sunlight today. He's drinking his fluids. Really, you have this lingering cough, but that happens with the flu anyway. You have like a lingering cough for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Just depends on how long your body takes to recover. But once he starts back exercising, get some sunlight, we'll get over the flu virus.
Another thing that happened.
Thank you for cutting me off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
I was not done. I was about to say,
go ahead.
While they were in Alabama, I was at home doing taxes, and it's tax season. So if you all need some help with your taxes, I am here for you, and I will take care of you. I'm an honest and God-fearing woman, so I'm not going to cheat or anything for you like that, but I will help you out. I'll give you advice. Again, if you need to call me, it's 346-341-2922. That's 346-341-2922. I had to make that plug in there. That's what I was doing. And during the time they were in Alabama, I was still making money.
Yeah, another thing too. I work for AAA, work for the insurance company. Right now, I can tell you right now, if you're in the state of Texas, any state, but definitely because I'm only licensed in the state of Texas right now, we have some great deals on homeowners insurance at this particular time. I'd be happy to give you a quote. Now, AAA, their policies, you have to have auto to get the home insurance, but compared to some of these rates that I'm seeing, a lot of companies are pulling out of Texas. There's no homeowners insurance. Like, there's not as many homeowners insurance companies in Texas as it used to be, thanks to like winter storms.
And Trump.
How did he cause that? This is happening way before he even got president. He just like the people that don't like Trump blame him for everything.
I didn't say I didn't like Trump.
No, yeah. So we shouldn't have brought his name up though. But anyway,
I'm not gonna go there
because you just interrupted me when I was doing my thing.
Go ahead, Trump.
So so you need a homeowner insurance quote, give me a call, or just hit me up on Facebook, inbox Ashley. I'd be happy to give you a quote on your homeowner's insurance. We have some good rates right now when it comes to home, and then we're one of the few companies that are still in Texas that are still doing homeowners insurance all over Texas. So give me a shout out, give me a call. I'd be happy to help you with that. But before we get started on our topic too, another thing, I want to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, because in addition to last weekend to not doing Coffee Talk with Jim and Ash, Grandma, then we had a Super Bowl party. Well, we didn't have one. We went to a Super Bowl party. So I want to give shout outs to Carmen and Antonio Mitchell. Right now, they are out of town. They're probably on their way back.
Did they need everybody to know they're out of town?
Well, people don't know, but they're out. Anyway, they're on their way back today, so it doesn't matter. So they had a Super Bowl party last week. My brother-in-law's team, the Eagles won. He's a big Eagles fan, and his team was able to pull it off in a big way. Jalen Hurts, Alabama, but he's also from Texas, from Channelview. Ball here, and he did a good job. And one thing about it is adversity, right? You want to talk about adversity? Jalen Hurts is definitely that guy who has had a lot of adversity. You
were one of the people that was negative. He was negative towards Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I was. I'm not going to deny it. So I'm not going to say that. I was negative about it. Just like I think he could play better, and letting a lot of because
you wouldn't say it like that,
because he was off and on. So at the time when he was hot, I was going for the other quarterback, the young quarterback, the rookie, Jaden Daniels,
bandwagon fan,
Warriors, because he was just playing better than Jalen. And after that, Jalen Hurts, he just showed out for the Commanders and Super Bowl. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to the Eagles and everything. And that was to me, it was an awesome game. It was. I should like to see like dominant football like that, even on the highest level. So that was a good job. So good job to the Eagles. Now I think but one thing I do also too is to say that I think they can repeat, but maybe a bonus for us because I'm a Saints fan. We got the offensive coordinator as a head coach, so hopefully he can come down there and change. But I don't think he's gonna be because we have so many issues with our team, but. You never know. He can do something. He can win a couple of games. We can make it to at least one playoff game. Now that we have a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Yep, and we are done with football for a whole year. So we are. Are you done?
No, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, we don't have to talk about football any other Sundays. Is what I'm saying. Like we are done until next year.
You don't like football?
I do like football, but I want to talk about something else other than football. Like let's talk about our topic.
It was a Super Bowl. That's what he said. You had to finish it off.
Well, I want to say that it's change the subject, but Pastor Gino Jennings today said that he agreed with he gives props what props are due, and he knows he's a hard pastor, but it's kind of like children. You give them candy all the time, and when they go to grandma's house, grandma gonna give them some greens, some cornbread, some real food, and then they don't want to eat it. But he said his daddy would come out with that belt and be like, it's either this belt or you gonna eat. And he had no choice but to eat. So he said he's hard on people. Like they're hard on people, not because he's a mean person, but because he says that we just need to do better. And he's going to give credit what's credit's due. And like with Trump, for instance, I know this is a change of subject, but he did. Trump. I do, because it's a good topic, and people are already very upset with him. And so with Gino,
why are people upset with him?
They're not upset. They don't like some of the policies he's doing, some of the things that he's doing. Like he was, Gino Jennings said, kudos to Trump for, making women, men, which is fine. I agree with that. That's how it should be. That's how the Bible says, Adam and Eve. But then he went on some tangent. He said he gets letters about why is he so mean to Trump if he's a Christian? And Gino Jennings said he is not a Christian. So, I say Gino is bold because I don't know whether I can tell when a person is not a Christian, like seriously, but
you can tell.
Well,
the Spirit gives it to you to know when somebody is not a Christian. In case anybody's wondering, I'm typing on the poll because I just want to know. I want you guys' help. This is just a fun little poll. I've been trying to get this to work forever. I finally get it to work, and I get again this places I've been going. People that come into work and they sit at my desk and they always say that my wife looks like my daughter. I'm tired of hearing that, but if that's the case, if she really looks like my daughter, I want to hear the internet.
Oh, that's
does she really look like my daughter, or she looks like my wife? I know I'm older than her, but I'm not that old. So I look like a
Boy,
father.
please. Boy,
So either
please.
way, it's a pose. Help me out.
You just
I
mad because you
prefer.
look 50 and I look 20.
I prefer you say no. I do not look like her daughter. I look like her husband.
I hope you don't look like my daughter.
I prefer that you say that I do not. That she does not look like my daughter. That she looks like a wife. But I just have to get this poll out here.
Just put it out there, and people just be honest. Does my wife look like my daughter? Not do I look like Trent? Does Trent look like me? Because people tell me that too. But do I, Ashley Holloway, look like his daughter, Jamal Holloway? And it's okay to say yes because I do. He's 50.
I don't.
He looks like he's 50.
No,
I look like I'm 20.
She does not look like my daughter. We're closer to the same age. I'm 42.
You just jealous because when you go to work, people think I'm your daughter.
So no,
that's the good.
So if you want to know, if anybody if you're on Ashley's side, I want to take the poll because Ashley she doesn't have the poll on hers, but I have the poll on my Facebook. That's yes or no. Does she look like she could be my daughter?
Or do I look like I could be his mama? But anyway,
okay, go ahead.
Do I look like I could be his mama?
But you have to put that on the poll, though.
I'm not going to make a poll because that's not our topic. Our topic for discussion today is marriage and the little moments. So in marriage, you have a lot of, and by the way, me and Jamal have been married for 14 years in April, going on 14 years this coming April. So our ministry is marriage, and usually we do marriage ministry at a church, whatever church we are at. And since we don't have a solid church home right now, we are choosing to do marriage ministry at our home.
Nothing wrong with that. I think it's really fine doing it at the home. If anybody wants to come, just reach out to us. Please let us know. We've been doing it ever since we've been married. Day one, we've been doing marriage ministries, and we had it at home even before we had it at church. Remember?
I know.
Yeah, but before we started doing it, we had people like some of my co-workers came in the past, some former friends, former associates,
neighbors,
and they came over and we did marriage ministry, and we just talked about marriage and the Bible. And it was just remembering those times. It was just really fun.
Yeah, and it was like we were just newlyweds doing marriage ministry. But it's like it doesn't matter the age or number of years you've been married if you have Jesus as your vertical, because that's really what marriage is. It's like it's like Christ being married to the church, or the church being married to Christ. And so you can talk about marriage no matter, even if you're not married, you can talk about it. It's just that being married, you have life experiences that you can share with others and help them maybe overcome some, or just share knowing that other people are going through the same thing that you're going through. So today I want to talk about the little moments in marriage, because we've been reading this book called The Six Commitments of Marriage by Pastor Paul David Tripp. And if you don't know him, he's a great author, great pastor, and he's good. He's helped thousands of marriages. And so he talks about these things called little moments in marriage. And because in marriage, you have thousands of little moments, but you may have 2 or 3 big moments. Like having a child is a big moment. Getting married is a big moment. Buying a house is a big moment. Buying a car. But then you have little moments like,
is a vacation a big moment too? Like going on vacation?
Vacation is a big moment.
It is okay.
But what he says is that a marriage is not made from big moments. It's like the little moments that matter, like sweeping the floor, doing the dishes, picking your clothes up off the floor, changing the toilet tissue, just little things.
Well, that honey gave me a buzz. Woohoo! I don't know what that is.
What you say? I don't care. It tastes like no food to me. You understand what you bought her yesterday? Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. But anyway, this does have sugar or something in it. This honey, I don't know what kind of honey this is.
It's honey. It is sugar.
I got a sugar high.
It was probably at the bottom. You didn't stir it.
Okay. I was like, woof. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Little moments again.
We're talking about little moments in marriage. And so what we want to encourage you guys to do, to focus on, is not just think about your big moments, but just think about the smaller moments. Because what happens is people get frustrated and with their marriage because, it doesn't matter. You just blow stuff off. But you got to remember, when you blow it off, even though it's little to you, those little things add up, and they become big mountains. So my encouragement to you guys is focus on those little things, because that's what makes the marriage important. The big things are going to come. Yeah, you're going to have them. but it's the little things that are more important that build up, and they can be bigger than the bigger things.
Yeah, but the thing is, about honestly, we just get comfortable and we get used to each other, and so I don't think the author talks too much about that.
He does.
He does. Okay, so
You just haven't read it yet.
okay, it is what it is. I haven't got to that point. She is further ahead than me, but
Way ahead of him.
But we get comfortable. Sometimes we get so comfortable, we just glance over those little moments of being consistent as far as cleaning up or doing things in a timely fashion.
Taking things for granted.
We just that just happens over time because we get so used to just normalizing our life, and you have to be careful about that. It's okay to pump brakes a little bit and just kind of revisit, like, okay, cool, I'm not doing this. We actually had that just like last night. It was the night before last. I can't remember. Was it Thursday or
Friday night before last?
Okay, Friday night. Okay, so we did that, and it's good. And I strongly recommend this. It might be hard, or you might even get your feelings hurt. Just this a little bruise, I think sometimes. But it's good to read books that build on your marriage or challenge your marriage. Like the book that we're reading, it challenges our marriage. It brings back those things like, wow, I really I thought I was doing so much better, and I'm not. We ask you those direct questions, and I think a lot of marriages we don't do that. We don't just like your car needs a tune up. It's like every once in a while or once a year, the oil change and all that. So does your marriage. It has to receive continual maintenance throughout its lifetime, because the thing is, we all need maintenance. Hold on, wait a minute.
Where's your jacket?
I know.
Tell him to get out.
He ate it. Why don't go outside? No, it's cold out there. Anyway, kids. But yeah, so your marriage, it needs maintenance, and sometimes depending on what period of time that your marriage is going through, what we going through, you might need more maintenance one year than the next. Like 1 year, let's go to this marriage conference. Three of them out of the year, or one time you just even one time. It's been a while since we've been to a marriage conference, and this gives me a reminder. I got a text message from a church saying they're having a marriage ministry. I had to look at the date, and we see if you want. I'll let you know about it. So see if you want to go to it or not. But they're having like a marriage retreat, a church I was text. And so those things help your marriage, because it's good to have the tune-ups, and you get reminded of doing the little things and being consistent. And then after that, you can test yourself via a barometer. Like, okay, look, I think I'm here, but really I'm actually down here to my wife or my spouse. And then when you see that, like, man, I'm actually that low, I need to get to, at least high, in my spouse's eyes. And then you be considerate about it. Don't get mad. When you first hearing about it, it may sound offensive, because even me, like when my wife was telling me some things that I was falling short on, or coming up short, I felt a little bit offended. But then after that's like, I had to realize, like, you know what? She's right. It's some things that I, have fallen short on that I could do better on.
And you have to be, as a spouse, you have to be receptive to criticism, and not necessarily criticism, but just because we are humans and we're selfish, we don't see the sin in us, and like we don't see the bad stuff. You can look in a mirror and you don't see all that, but if somebody else looks at you and tells you from the outside, it's probably true. You have to be receptive to that information, especially your spouse, because your spouse is not going to tell you something that's not true. And it's
the camera.
My camera.
I'm not in the camera all the way.
Okay.
Turn angle it a little bit. It's your camera.
I'm out of your camera too.
No, you're in there.
Okay.
All right, there you go. That's better.
All right.
Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure we're both in each other's cameras.
So basically what I was saying is make sure that you are receptive to what your spouse is saying. Don't get on the defense. Say things in a loving manner and just accept it and try to work on it. So if it's something that your spouse needs to work on, have that communication and tell them. And then the other person can't get upset. And if you don't tell your spouse what it is that's bothering you, they probably don't know. So you have to be open and, just say, hey, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I would like for you to work on this. Because it may be something like me and Jamal just discovered. He wants me to be more of a disciplinarian. And I was telling him when I grew up, my dad was a disciplinarian. My mom was not, like, at all. And I wasn't a bad child, so my mom really didn't have to discipline me. But it's still like if we left stuff on the table, that was a no-brainer. You do not, because my dad will just get you, like, he would just scold you or whatever he did. I don't know what he did, but it was like we were scared of him in a sense, but we loved him. And so in our marriage, Jamal told me that in his household, his mom was a disciplinarian, his dad wasn't. So it's kind of like one of them things where, well, oh, okay, so in your household, your mom was. In my household, my dad was. So how do we balance this out? And Jamal said he does want to be the disciplinarian, but he wants me to get stricter. And I'm like, I'm trying. I am working on it. I'm like, I know I'm not the best, but it is something I'm working on. I asked him to work with me on that. And like, if I do tell the kids something and they don't do it, then he has my back and tells them to do it. But at the same time, I think he was used to his mom being disciplinarian. So he listened to his mom. Not saying that kids don't listen to me, but I might have to say it 5 times. And he says it like once or twice and it happens, versus me saying it like 5 times and then they'll do it.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we had that heart to heart, and even like one of the things that my wife thought she was like I was bothered by, I was like, yeah, I'm not really bothered by that, And I told her that's one of the things I'm bothered by. I told her another thing I was bothered by. These are little things, like this small little things, like we have a conversation.
That's why I said little moments. These are little moments.
Yeah.
Okay. So like me, the way I discipline my children and the way he disciplines, these are little moments, but yet.
Well, I'm not talking about the children.
But I know, but I'm saying in small. That's one issue that's tiny, that can turn into a mound.
That can escalate. Like one thing as well, like sometimes like well, first off, husbands and wives, we should communicate, daily. You might not communicate as much at one time. Like one day you might communicate a lot, and then another day you might communicate just very little. But you should always communicate daily. But one time, a couple times where Ashley and I are talking, we have like an intense conversation, not arguing. We just really just talking. I'm just into it. I really want to just talk to my wife at that time, right? And what happens is, it's just a little thing, but it happens. It bothers me a little bit. Sometimes the kids might say, "Mom," in the middle of our conversation, or something happens so where it interrupts the conversation, right? And so now that I said, okay, cool. Then Mom will take care, whatever's going on. And after that, the conversation, she might come back to the conversation, but it's not as like intense, or it's not like, it kind of drops a little bit. The attention span is like, okay, well, we're not on the same page all of a sudden because of the interruption. So we come to like a healthy compromise to where it's like, if the kids need something and while we're talking, I'll take care of it. And then after that, we can come back to that same conversation. Hopefully we'll be on the same page, same mindset. We didn't lose that mental connectivity right there, because it's like sometimes like, man, we in the heat of the moment. I'm loving the conversation. We vibing, and the interruption. I'm like,
mm-hmm. And so what in the past, what happens is like me, if me and him are talking and somebody calls my name, I cannot focus. Like I need to take care of whatever that is. Otherwise it's a waste because he can ignore whatever's going on in the back, but I just have a problem with that. And so, that's what happens. We could be in a conversation. The kids might call me and I'll say I'll take care of whatever that might be if it's important. And then I'll come back to the conversation, but Jamal doesn't feel like the intensity is there. And like he said, we decided that instead of, if they do call me, he'll answer and say, like, because it was, I guess, an instance example. We was just talking about it, and Trent calls my phone and says, and I said, "Here, Jamal, here's an opportunity for you to do it right now." So he answered the phone, and Trent wanted some Dairy Queen ice cream. And he was like, "No, your mom is not getting that." And I said, "Okay, that's a good example. See how if I were to answer, I don't know what would have happened if I would have answered the phone and said no. She probably would have kept begging. But when Jamal said no to the Dairy Queen ice cream, it was like over, and we continue to talk. So that's another small moment. One of the other examples what I had was with Jamal, and like even the kids recognize it, and so he's gonna start getting better with it. It's making excuses. He doesn't know he does it because it's just a part of him, but I think he's gonna be more aware of, like, it could be so small, like Jamal, why did you put the clothes away? Well, I had to go to work. So it's never like he always has an excuse. And the author talks about that in the book. Like that doesn't build trust with your spouse when you're always making excuses, no matter how small, because it may be small excuses that just turn into big. When you add up 20
over
small
time.
things over time, it's like one big old thing. And like, you're like, okay, I don't know. Every time I ask him something, it's going to be an excuse. So just be careful and mindful of that in your marriage too. Like a small excuse for over and over again just builds up and builds up.
Yeah, that's true. So again, it is good to have these conversations and self-reflection. And I think a lot of people just don't do it in marriage, and they don't even communicate it. And again, it gets so mundane, and it's irritating your spouse. Year after year, pulling up with it, like, gosh, like, yeah, I could deal with it, but it's really like bugging me. I'm just like, so I mean, it's kind of like a little. It doesn't hurt, like it's like a little like a tap or something, right?
But over the years,
but over time,
tips,
that tap is it hurts. So you like,
don't keep on. We on live right now, and I don't want to show y'all my aggressive side, but I do have one. If he keep tapping me like that, I'm gonna show y'all some aggression.
But yeah, definitely, one thing, I guess this is like, off topic but on topic. I really appreciate that. I really truly believe that from our relationship, the Holloways, Jim and Ash, I appreciate the Lord. I appreciate God for putting us together. I truly believe that this marriage has made me better as a man, as a person, and spiritually, and as a man of God. And I'm truly thankful. I really do thank God for putting Ashley in my life. I couldn't ask for anyone better.
That's so sweet.
Truthfully.
I know.
There we go. But yeah, but seriously though, has it always been easy, or I don't think any marriage is gonna be like, always easy or always loving. You're gonna have your up and down moments, but when I feel like if you really worked on building a strong foundation in your marriage, that you can really go through anything. You're gonna have your ups and downs, but you just know that person's got your back. Like, I don't want to be with anybody else. I really don't. I love my wife. I want to be with her forever, and to death do us part. And so, I love you. I appreciate you, and I do want to do right by you and do better, even in small things.
He just made me smile.
And so, I just wanted to say that, and I really truly appreciate my wife. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much, and I love you too. And I just want to say, I know we throw this out there quite a bit that we've been married for 14 years, but there's been people married for 20, 30, 40 years that want a divorce. And I just thought about it. I was like, Jamal, why is that? Like, I used to always wonder, how can somebody be married for 30 years and 40 years and say they get a divorce, or I've known people like that. They wait till their kids graduate from college and they get a divorce. And I'm like, you should have by now learned each other.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. It's just like, as long as you are two sinful individuals, we're never going to be perfect, selfish. And we're selfish. Mm-hmm. Then you always have to work on your marriage. Like we said earlier, it's like you get a brand new car and you like make sure, you get up all your trash, you don't eat in your car, you don't want to scratch, you clean it. But then over time, you start noticing, like after you're about 3 or 4, there's a French fry on the floor. There's all kind of stuff, just a mess. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like your marriage. Like when you first get married, you want to make sure you are tip of the top. And then you just, after a while, you just get set in your own ways. And again, it's little bitty things that you just let slide and just add up. And then by the time 40 years pass by, 30 years, you're like, you know what? I don't even know why I love this person anymore.
I think you said it right there. You said set in your ways. So I think as people in general get older, they get set in their ways, right? Like it's either you'll love me for they just get set. They're not like, as we get older, we get set in our ways. Like, it's certain things I'm just not going to do. Like, it's one of my friends I went to junior high school with. He has this thing called things I'm not doing after 40, right? And it's like, because now he's like, I don't care. I'm 40 years old. This is just how it is. That's going to be. And he talks about a little generic things, right? But I think people also do that in marriage too. They say, look, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. And they're not willing to bend a little bit for their spouse when they should be bending. Like they should be like, okay, cool. It's like at least have a conversation about it. It's like, it could be like a little thing, a big thing. And even though we're 50 years old and like, it's some things I want to be set in my ways at, but I never want to be so set in my way with my wife that I can't at least talk about it, or that's anything, any subject. Let's talk about going to church, or a specific church, talking about our kids, rearing, finances, parents, outside family. I never want to get to the point where I'm so set in my ways that I am unwilling to even hear the other side. I will talk. That sometimes,
and that boils all the way back down to selfishness, which is the DNA of sin.
Mhm.
We are all selfish, but if you're going to be married, you have to let it go, and you have to be selfless.
Mhm.
And so, when you're being set in your ways, again, that's selfishness. And so you don't even really even realize it, but you are. And so you got to think about your act a certain way. You want to say, I'm setting my ways, I'm not changing. That's you. You're not thinking about your other person that you're married. How do they feel about it?
Yeah, you're not a single person being one. You're two people in one marriage, being one mind, one body, one spirit. And the thing is, like, you have to communicate. This is what it is. You have to communicate. And then after that, you have to like, okay, cool. Now that we're here, it doesn't matter how old we are. We're going to be together. We're going to stick to the same routine, and then towards communicating and making sure that the other person is good, even if you disagree.
Right.
And
you will disagree. You're two different people. Jamal is somebody totally different from me. Like, we're complete opposites when it comes to when we first got married. He was very what was the word? He was a procrastinator, and I was impatient. Both of those are not good. But since we've been married, he sped me up. I mean, he slowed me down some, and I sped him up a little bit. So it's like a balance. I was the one that's like, anxious and stuff, and he's very calm. And so it's like, we bring each other.
But now I have little patience now. I can't. Well, let's just say this. With her, I have patience, even though it gets on there borderline. But I'm still patient with her. But I know when it comes to people outside of my marriage, I'm not patient. I'm just like,
and I have become very patient.
She's become super patient. I'm like, almost to me too patient. I'm like, no. How you deal with this? Right? Like, boy, if that was me, I would not even.
And I tell him, no, that's not the case. He always talk about what he would do if he was in my situation.
No. Is that he always? I tell you what I do in my situations, and not only I've done it. Like, babe, I did this at work today because I got two. They pushed me past threshold. But that's just how it is, though. So I feel like I have taken on her personality.
But I was never telling nobody off. I was never mean like that.
No, you didn't tell anybody. The thing is like this. You didn't have to tell anybody off, though. But you felt like, you'll come to me and on the side. You felt like if you were disrespected or that person should have did this. Me, my manhood, slash a little bit of pride in there too. I'm not going to let anybody just tell me off or do wrong by me without them knowing that I know they did wrong by me. So that's just not in me. It's not in my DNA to let things slide like that. And so the thing is now, like, as I do get older in that regard, is I don't sin as I disagree with this other person or get angry and like curse them out or treat them badly. I just let them know, like, in a comfortable way, polite way, that I disagree with you, but I'm not gonna let you walk over me either. Type of deal.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm still working on it because I still let people kind of like, know that I'm not, I don't like that. Even my manager, like, I'm gonna say this, like, my manager says, like, when I come to her office, she goes, "Uh-oh, Jamal's coming to my office. When we sit down across his arms, I know something." I was like, "Oh God!" So the thing about it is, she's my new manager. She knows that about me. Like, when I come to her office and I sit down across my arm like this, she knows, like, I'm mad about something. And so I said, "Okay, I want to change that, interpretation of myself at work." So I said, "Okay, cool. Just because I come to your office doesn't mean I had something always wrong. Sometimes I just want to come and say, hey, good job. It doesn't mean all." So yeah, but yeah.
Anyway, just I think that wraps up our session. Just remember, it's the little moments that add up to big moments. And so they can you have about 3 or 4 big moments in your marriage. Like we said, getting married, having children, buying a new house, getting a new car, Those are all vacations. Those
but,
are all.
But I like vacations though, so that's fun.
I know those are big moments.
Yeah, but those are big moments that come over time, over and over again. So yeah.
But little moments, the moments that we kind of share with you, like raising your kids, just things that might annoy you. There are little things that might annoy you, but over time they add up, and they're bigger than buying a new car, getting a new house. You got people, like I said, that's been married for 30 years and get a divorce because why? They let little things add up. They address it, so the other one doesn't know, or the other one has addressed it, but they're too selfish to see that, I need to try to please my wife or my husband. And so since they're selfish, they stick to their own ways. And then before you know it, they're going to divorce court.
Yeah. Another thing too, though, I want to say this. I just saw one of my childhood friends, Pierre. How you doing, Pierre? If you're still on there. But anyway, I do want to say this too. In addition to our home marriage ministry, if anybody is married or considering marriage or just wanting some advice or even prayer, I really want to put this out there. If you watch this video toward the end or you just only seeing this part, is like, if you reach out to me, I'd be happy to pray for you. I'd be happy to pray for your marriage. If you need counseling, whether it's in person or even online, I'd be happy to just talk to you and counsel you through marriage. I have, we can honestly say we have been married for 14 years. Not only have we been married for 14 years, we've read marriage books, we've counseled people before. So we have that experience. We have taken classes on marriage ministry, and we continue our education to be better in that, that field that as far as helping couples out. So please don't be afraid to reach out. We're out here to help, to just help. It's free, doesn't cost anything.
It's our ministry, so we have a passion of doing it, and so it's like when you love doing something, you're not asking for money, you just want to help people. So we are asking if you really you want to work on your marriage or just talk about it. We are here. Also, if you would like to join us at live sessions, just call us. We're gonna do one in March, and so I don't know the exact dates, but we'll do another one in March, and you can come to our house and we'll have a good time, fellowship. And what we say in our marriage class will stay in our marriage class. We don't want to cause any arguments or anything, but we just want to help.
But okay, but yeah. So with that though, like I said, I guess we can wrap it up. We can go ahead and
all right.
Let's clack some cups
and sip.
There's nothing else to say from me. Well, anyway, I hope everybody have a blessed day. Have a great Sunday. If you didn't go to church, at least read your Bible or watch some virtual church. Always keep God first, keep Jesus first. And again, signing off.
Yep. Watch Gino Jennings, Gino Jennings, Jennings. If you don't have another church to watch, you can always listen to him. Okay. Bye.
Bye.